Oh, hey guys, Gear for the Disciples here, and today, after a week's delay, we have a Type Tuesday that might or might not come out on a Tuesday. It's always up to chance. We had a YCS, we had events the last 2 weeks, so we're kind of doing all together. So we have with me Cormac.
Hi, you know me.
On a 2 second delay, apparently, Leon. Is this a second Leon podcast?
Yeah, second one.
Yeah, let's go. And Sam. 'Cause
Yeah.
we needed a fourth. Sam was around. And okay, I see. he's gonna. It's my own wave. I can't bully Sam if he's here. So we've got to change the jokes.
Everyone loves Sam, and plus you end up bullying him anyway. So
That is actually true.
True.
But yeah, all right. So main things to discuss this week. We had the YCS, the first in-person event. I mean, in-person big event since COVID. Which I'll be honest, at least on my end, it was kind of bizarre to see again.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it's been over 2 years, but I mean, from the stream and the production and everything there, it looked like Konami are really going all in on it as well, which is good.
Yeah, it felt nice.
yeah, especially for like US as well, since you don't usually get that level of production. I think ever since the remote door invitationals and the remote door YCSs, it's like stepping up. So hopefully you see it for like every YCS, similar to Europe. That'll be good anyway.
I didn't even expect a stream, I'll be honest, because they didn't announce it. So I was like, no chance to stream. Like on Friday, randomly pops up on my YouTube, the YCS Charlotte stream. I'm like, okay, I guess I have entertainment for the weekend.
Konami's communication with the player base is one of the worst qualities they have, so I'm not surprised that they had all this stuff planned and just didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, sounds about right. But I mean, it ran pretty well. They have some delays, as Konami streams always do, but especially with the rounds being faster now because the time rules means that the whole stream goes a bit faster, even if the delays were long. I remember like old YCS streams were like 2 hours between rounds because that's what took between rounds in YCS, right? Nowadays, I think the stream is the thing that's holding up the tournament rather than the tournament holding up the stream. So that's good.
And then this event, the rounds are 45 minutes instead of 40, right?
Yeah, they ran 45, which is I think it's a pretty good change. I like it personally.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's kind of necessary as well. It's like I think that they've been, from what I was like told, this might just not be the case, but it was because of like communication through masks and stuff like that. They wanted it so that like, people wouldn't get caught having to deal with that and take up extra time. So hopefully that just means it's a thing they're going to keep for a while, and that it's not just going to go back to 40, if and when we don't make masks.
If it's
so
not
playing YCSs.
If it's not causing delays to the tournament, then I don't see any reason why they will switch it back.
Yeah, I think it's kind of running a trial, right? Like they had the opportunity, and they will see how it goes. Because ideally, if you think about it, like the 5 extra minutes don't really delay the end of the round that much. It delays it by 5 minutes, but it doesn't cause any extra delays because the delays are caused by disputes when time is called. So if time got called after 30 or after 50, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and like even back when we were actually going to YCSs in like early 2020 and earlier, you'd still see like 40 minutes overtime every time, and it is because of disputes like that, not just extra 5 minutes at the end of each round. It's a no-brainer from my point of view for bigger events to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I think like the time procedures are so bad, but they're not going away, right? We're clearly stuck with this end of phase thing.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think the least I can go into time, the better. So giving me more time means I go into time less, which means I like the change. I think that's the approach we're taking here. But yeah, from watching the stream, what really got me is that I was just jealous. I kept seeing people play, and I'm like, yo, this is insane. I want to do that too.
What's really getting me is that we just don't know what's going on in Europe. I mean, they've got YCS is booked up until early November in America.
Yeah,
and we don't even have we don't even have any regionals in the UK until next season at this rate. So
yeah, we're gonna have announcements at some point. We're gonna see. But yeah, I understand if it's frustrated. I feel less frustrated because me and Cormac and Henry were doing Guadalajara and Bogota. If we weren't, I would be more angry. But yeah. Nice. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise, the weekend we had Prankets winning. And Prankets probably being the deck of the tournament, right? Like top representation, top cut, 10 out of 32, so like a third of top cut, give or take.
Yeah.
Pretty much what we throughout the format, so yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the good players in the tournament, most of them were playing Prankets. There's been one round in particular. It was Raf and Ryan Jabri both just playing pranks, and
Were they
a
both
lot.
playing 60 cards, or
Yeah, they were both on the big deck with 60 multiple Prankets, small roll, DP. The cool thing about Prank is that there is a bit of the diversion. A lot of people think it's the best list. It seemed that everyone was. I mean, most people were on the 60 card list. But the list that won was the 40 card list, which plays a smaller Prankets package. But both of them play DP. So there are multiple ways to approach the deck, which is kind of cool. Even if the deck is the definition of linear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that Prankage was the best deck. I mean, if you'd been tracking regional performances over the past few weeks, it was clear that Prankage was the easiest deck to do well with.
Yeah.
But
I think Prank has a good matchup across the field. It's consistent, which is important like an 11 round event. It does well in time as well, which is relevant.
bonus?
Yeah,
It's not a small bonus, but like playing game 3 into Prankets is so stressful. Like, I don't know if you guys watched, was Jesse against Hisam on the last round 11. So basically, Jesse was going into time, but because he was playing against Prankets, like he was in a position he couldn't win, because if he went first, he couldn't do damage. If he went second, the Prankets guy would just like burn him. So he was forced to go first and trying to go very fast, and then like not have a win condition in time, which is a thing that Pranks does.
So like, I mean, what's a reasonable amount of time? Like 10 minutes you need to give your opponent and go second? It's just not doable.
It's weird, because like the turn can take like 7-8 minutes, because the issue with the Prankets turn is actually long. It's simple, but it's long, like mechanically wise. There's like a lot of actions happening, and you actually have some decision trees, believe it or not.
And then the combo itself just puts 15 difference in life points.
Exactly.
And
it puts...
You gotta stop the combo or break the board still and then do damage, like, you know.
It puts like fucking 5 bodies in defense as well. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit silly, but regardless, I think Pranks was a good call. You could see from the breakdown, and then you have a bunch of other decks on like the 3-4 to choose spot. It's like probably the other decks you recognize from the format, which are like Flunder, Base, Brave Tanny, Synchro, whatever, Synchro Adventure, whatever you want to call it. And then there was that Cyber Salvage, 3 Cyber Salvage, 2 Trap Outlet, 1 getting to the finals. And yeah, I mean, Trap Outlet getting to the finals is a very weird one, because I don't think the deck is even well positioned by definition. It does a ride into Pranks, I guess, which is probably the main reason. But
yeah, I feel like it was one of those things where like you kind of just, get through the early part of the tournament, and then because there were so many Prankets, you have like enough like decent matchups, like, the further the tournament that you go, that it probably like makes it a bit more favored the further into the tournament that you get.
I mean, I guess, but the thing is, like, with Trap Out, I don't even see how it beats current Prankets. Because the whole thing back in the day was that, okay, sure, they Prankets combos, you flip goals a match, and they lose. But now they end on, like, DP and Griffin. How are you resolving Golden Match reliably?
You just draw Golden Lord Spell Trap, goes in trap card, like Solemn Strike or something, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. The second place list, I don't know. I don't think we saw the second place list from this event, but we had a list from like the regional from the same guy. It was something. It meant 2 offs of every single trap card, and then we were like, okay, this is definitely a trap trick deck. No. We just play choose. It's like it was like 2 Torrential, 2 IDP, 2 Golden, 2 Anti-Spell, 2 Punishment, I would say. Yeah, like all the 2 offs, all the traps are 2 offs.
Is this in 40 or 60 cards?
In 40.
40.
That's bizarre.
It's a bit weird for me as well.
Wow.
But yeah. Fair play to him.
Yeah, I imagine Lord of Heavenly Prison helps a lot going second into DP as well. Just not giving them stuff in the end phase and all that.
That kept happening during the tournament as well. Because Heavenly Prison always been a card that kind of got limited by the fact it's very shit going second most of the time. But when you only need to resolve goes and match, and you basically can flip it as like basically like negating DP, right? For a turn. So yeah, the Heavenly Prison was very, very good for him. A couple instances like they summoned DP, he flipped Heavenly Prison, then he set 5.
And then like, just the trap cards.
Yeah, and then like once you establish goes on match, it's kind of win condition. A bit against pranks, and for example, Dragon Link was also the Candia's list was also siding goes on match. So that's that like it proves like how prevalent prank is that everyone's kind of adapting to it. But yeah.
I mean, you look at the kind of decks that were doing well, and Gozen's just insane into all of them. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you think about everything starting with like the brave stuffs. You put some Earth on the board, and I don't think there's many decks that can play on the Earth. So
Exactly. The other issue is like is one of the few trap cards that work well into brave cards, because trap cards have this issue that brave cards generate so much value and interruption. Like if you're like trying to play like fair Yu-Gi-Oh into brave cards, the stress. But Gozen match specifically lines up well. Gozen and Rivalry, I guess, to a certain extent, because they're now also not playing it under fairies. But yeah, this is pretty cool to see. I mean, not cool to see Trap Eldritch, but a different deck, I guess. It's never cool to see Trap Eldritch.
Something without brave cards. Yeah. Okay.
I'll rather play Trap Eldritch than Flunder.
100%.
Yeah.
Anything but normal Summer Robina, which was, by the way, the third most represented deck in Top Cut. Actually,
Top Cut. Yeah.
The second, right? Because I think they bundled Eldritch together, so that was
Oh,
five.
as in like
So-
brave Tenyi and Tenyi Sword Soul. They're saying.
yeah, so I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
Tenyi Sword Soul was second. But,
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot
Yeah.
about Sword Soul. Actually, that's worth talking about.
yeah, surprising how well it did.
A lot of good players around Tennis Sword Soul. I've been shit talking it on our group chats for a while, famously.
Yeah,
I think
I don't know. I think it's just a mid-rangey sort of deck that still has like pop-off plays.
But
That-
this isn't a mid-rangey kind of format that you can play that thing into. So I'm really
The f-
surprised it.
The thing is, Sword Soul specifically ends on a mid-range board that kind of beats Pranked very well. So
Yeah.
the new level 10 synchro, I don't think the card gets talked about enough. The Kishin Longo.
Oh yeah.
So that card is like very, very good to Prankets. Because the way Prankets work, right? They have two plays. They have a right and they have a kid. If you just summon Kishin, it deals with both. Because it banishes the right and it banishes the kid.
Yeah.
Not the second kid. But, I mean, it still works.
Yeah, the one you summon off the first kid.
Yeah, but it still kind of does the same job, right? So for that reason, like Sword Soul was actually pretty good in Prankers, and it did very well, very well. Like I would say that most people going into this tournament wouldn't say Sword Soul was the deck to beat.
No, they wouldn't. No, it's just the idea of like it's a deck that can stay like close to 40 and still fit in like a ton of hand traps.
Yeah,
And then still have like a decent play, decent like play and like level of resiliency going second, or through interactions rather, I guess.
yeah.
But that's literally just prank kids, but worse, right?
Somewhat.
Kind of. The thing about it is that like the way that I do it anyway is that like it puts up a board going first, like through a hand trap, which despite how many hand traps like a lot of the decks are playing, because a lot of the decks are playing like 60, they're still only drawing like one on average most of the time.
Yeah, and like on 18 on 60, which is like the most common ratio, it's like 50% to C2. Not on 19, it's 50% to C2, which is more than some of those lists are playing. So more likely than not, they will draw one.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the idea. So then, like through one interaction, you actually do just like make up a board that prank kids like can play through, for example, and then like defensively, because your deck like compared to like the 60 card prank kid list, like I know the 40 list won, but that's like probably less popular at this stage, at least the top level. Like you have the benefit of like you fit more hand traps into your deck in a lower deck count, and also things about like that lower deck count means you get to draw like nib plus hand trap paired with it more often going second than the 60 card decks and stuff like that, for example, which
You see
like
the
probably
blowouts,
helps
man.
a bit. Yeah, like there's arguments in favor of it. Would I play it for a tournament? I don't know, but
Yeah. Another couple of things for Sword Soul is that I think Sword Soul is one of those decks that's very decent into half boards, kind of like Dragon Link is in a way. Like a lot of the times this format, like you're gonna like hand trap them twice, you're gonna pass on DP. Prank Kids struggle sometimes when this happens because you have a hard time dealing with DP, but Sword Soul goes like Vishuda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Even just like the core engine card's just like good into it. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like,
yeah. It's not
yeah,
awful,
yeah.
awful in pop. So that's the benefit. Also, people have been dropping token collectors. Another thing, token collectors everywhere at the start of the format, and definitely dropped off in representation because it's not
Yeah.
exactly great into anything that's not sword so. Even against the brave decks, is not the best thing ever. It's good into Cyber's Outlet specifically, but like it's not the best thing ever into Prank Kids or into Dragons. Like it stops the brave engine somewhat,
Yeah.
but it's not
Although
the great top.
I was seeing this like being said by a lot of people who were signing it like this weekend that they were really liking it in like Prank Kids mirrors, and I was kind of struggling with that.
I
Like,
didn't
understand
get
it?
it as well. I saw Ralph citing it in the mirror, and I was shook because
Yeah.
I didn't like it, especially the mirror.
I found it alright when it was paired with another hand trap. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because like if it's like token collector Ghost Ogre, then you know you can just hit the pranks rather than having to hit the fateful kind of thing.
yeah.
I felt, even though you can't stop it from chain blocking, it's also it's a thing where you can even Ghost Ogre the Doodle if they do the chain links that way, and then they can't pranks get a token to carry on stuff like that. So I thought it felt better in that sense.
Yeah, my issue with token collector is that it doesn't pair well with a good amount of the hand traps because of the chain block thing, it doesn't pair really well with Ash. Because we're talking for the scenario they open right plus kid, right? Because they always do. And it's what you kind of gotta beat if you're playing as pranks. It doesn't really pair well with Ash because it just got you chain block the first kid with Faithful. It doesn't pair well with Imperm because if they start right and you token collector, you can't Imperm anything. It doesn't pair well with Gamma because you can't Gamma token collectors in the field, and it doesn't pair well with Nib because same reason. So it's a bit weird. It doesn't have like that many pairings, which is the main reason I found it awkward. Like it didn't. It kind of got force used the other one first, but a lot of times the right is the first thing. I don't know. But people were playing it in pranks mirrors. I'm not the expert in that, so I assume they have a reason.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, like they can't use like pranks after and stuff, I guess. Like this sort of stuff, I guess, like does come up, but and like Prank Kids isn't really a deck that then like we'll say like make use of the other body most of the time. Like they'll make a Verte sometimes, like you know, they might just like special the Griffin make Verte with it afterwards, but
yeah.
It's still like, you know, it's not like, you know, they're not like still getting the extra value off of the other body, but it's still kind of like there's only so many things that Collector works alongside.
I mean, they kind of get
a little bit weird. But...
They kind of get value though, right? It's like you don't, they go right. You're talking Collector. They add Griffin, dump something, summon Griffin, normal summon the kid. You ash the kid, not you ash the kid. I don't know because it's faithful.
Oh, faithful, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, but assuming like that body, it just means you get DP'd at the end because everyone's playing DP.
Yeah. Like, it's like one extra thing to get towards, GP,
Yeah, I don't know. But Token Collector wasn't like super play. Like some lists were playing it, but it's not like in the start of the format. Maybe with Tiny Swordsoul being more Rio again, you are kind of forced to play Token Collector again, because then it hits Cyber's out and it's like an absolute blowout against Tiny Swordsoul.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm starting to see it, I think, like pick up a little bit in some sliding lists for this YCS, and it probably just continues back on that trajectory again.
Yeah. It's gonna be very interesting because like we've been at a point that this format has been played a lot, but it's been a lot in like regional levels. We didn't have a big tournament to base on, especially nowadays. We don't get like LCS or anything, so we never had like a focal point to go like this is the meta. Of course, we kind of knew, but for example, I wouldn't go into this event thinking there would be that many prank kids on Top Cut. I thought it would be the most represented deck. I didn't think it would be a third of Top Cut.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it would be. Oh, sorry, you go there.
I think I'm about to say the same thing. Just based off of the regional results that I've seen, I would expect a lot of it to have been prank kids.
Yeah.
Out of all the decks that are playing the Brave engine, I think it was like the one that would have taken up the most spots. Because even though the Brave combo decks were popular at the start of the format, I feel like with the increase of hand traps, they've started to fall off as much. Like they're still topping, but not to the levels. And Prank just seems like the most well-rounded one, just to consistently top in every regional, if you know what I mean, and topping / winning every regionals, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the Brave combo decks like the Base and Brave Tiny really suffer from the fact that the format warped towards drawing 2 hand traps, and those decks are worse at playing through 2 hand traps because they're kind of like they have very clear choke points on how Red Rose resolving, on Yazi resolving, so it kind of suffers that way. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see how different this format probably is from like 2 months ago, even though we have the same card pool. Like at some point, this format Frontal Knight was the best deck for like 2 weeks, right? And then it has never been seen again.
It was the most played deck for 2 weeks.
No, yeah,
It
no,
was not ever the
it was considered the best deck, right? Like,
oh yeah, like
remember the list hit, and everyone's like, PK is gonna break the form. You're gonna get Scythe locked through droplets.
I mean, when you think of the adventure cards, you think PK as like the start of the format, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which leads me to the point, PK is very popular in the OCG and did shit here, so I want to see where Despia ends up. That's an interesting debacle for the next couple weeks. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype on all of
there
this.
is. A lot of people are buying into it because it now seems actually affordable with the Aluba reprint.
That is true.
So I think it might just be like PK, and a lot of people will play it and hope for the best. But we'll see.
I also want to publicly say sorry to the guy that bought my Alibers like 6 hours before the reprint. Thank you, but I'm so sorry.
You want your secrets, it's fine.
Bro, yeah, maybe you just want secrets. They're American secrets, they do look sick. That's what I'm robbing and running from that one.
The body's got to cling on to. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a deck to throw in. It is a bit weird because I usually always like think of when Konami like stage their events. Now, obviously, we're kind of just looking to get any events going whatsoever, so the weekend doesn't really matter. But I'm used to Konami like staging events like the first weekend post like something, like post a ban list, like post a new major like set or structure being released. So having this event be like the last weekend, like before Despia like releases, I thought was a bit interesting because we've seen like what these decks are now from this format, but the format, regardless of how good you think Despia is, will change a bit with it being introduced. And we'll see like how people then like adjust with them. I know we've got a couple of YCSs in a few weeks. And that might like give like more of an idea. But yeah, I wonder how like the next like week or two people will like adjust to these decks, because I'm not sure if there's any regionals happening. Like I don't think there is any in Europe. I'm not sure if there's any in America either. For the next like week or two before the YCSs take place, for people to like get an idea of like how Despia plays.
I think LA regionals is next week, right? Which is like the massive one, which is basically a YCS for all intents.
I was gonna say that might be bigger than the YCS because the YCS is only like 1,100 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, LA regional is like massive.
Yeah, we might see some stuff there. It might also just be Pride Kids all over again.
Yeah, but I'm gonna see people playing Despia release weekend. It's always like that, right? Like, so I would definitely expect that to be played.
Yeah,
I think people just really want to play something different as well.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if Despia was just everywhere there.
Yeah, we'll see how Despia does. It's definitely a cool meta shake between this and the Bogota weekend. It's funny that they like put like Charlotte, Despia, Bogota, Guadalajara. Right, like they chose to release it on the one weekend. There's no event. Sorry, they chose to make the event on the one weekend of the release.
That's what I thought was weird, because I'm so used to them putting something on the weekend of release for something, which is like usually meant to be like, this is how like this new format will look like with new set, new cards, new battles.
The only thing I think is because both Pasadena and Las Vegas were cancelled. Maybe just thought a YCS in this format still made sense rather than it being a new format.
Yeah, I also think
it's still going to be the. I suppose, is it still the same format as the remote YCS? Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it?
I mean,
the remote YCS was before the ban list, right? So Simorg and Imperial Order and everything was still around.
No, the one.
Oh, the Vegas remote one. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it's still the same format technically. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. Konami works in mysterious ways. So we'll just sit down and wait to see. I think that's mainly it for the weekend Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise. Again, main things like really nice to see coverage again. Really nice to see proper events again. Random shout out. I really like that random camera they had between rounds. That just like pointed into the hall, and you could just see like people like talking to each other after rounds and trading. I thought it was just a cool touch because randomly like we're like streaming it on Discord and we're like, oh, I know this guy. I thought that was a cool idea.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Especially if someone's ever been to a YCS before, it really gives them a feel of what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
It's like outside of just playing the games, there's more to it than just playing the games. It's just
Yeah,
social
exactly.
parts of it and all that.
It's especially because anecdotally, when I go to locals, half the people are there are people that weren't playing before COVID. So to them, this is their first real experience of seeing what a YCS is like. So it was really important for them to try and capture as much of the atmosphere as possible.
Yeah, no,
which
it's
I
a
think they did.
nice touch. It's a nice touch. It's just a shame America doesn't do like the viewing areas the same way EU does them. I don't know. The EU one like seem like more hype or everything. I don't know if they try to avoid it because of COVID and not keep too many people together. But like on EU ICS, like you have the feature match table in the middle, and then you have everyone seated there. It's the funniest moment of YCS is just sitting there and watching like Top Gun. Yeah, the same feature matches especially are a good memory.
Yeah.
They actually are, Sam. Come on, it's only how we fuck up.
Because on one, sometimes they pan out to the crowd like after them, and I saw you shaking your head, going, "How did the opponent throw that?"
I know, yeah.
It's funny to watch back sometimes.
It is. I remember because that specific one, I was having a discussion. I don't remember who was by my side, but I remember saying, if you literally don't negate this card, there's no way Sam can win this game. Like okay, I see. Well, nah, fun times. So yeah, that's the main thing. So we are late a week, but we went to Ireland last week to play Yu-Gi-Oh, which was very fun. It was actually not last week, 2 weeks ago at this point, right, Cormac?
Like 10 days. Yeah.
10 days, yeah, 10 days ish. Which was very fun. We went to play basically a big regional. I mean, not even big regional, a regional.
Regional, yeah.
A regional, but in Belfast, not in Belfast.
Is it big for Ireland standards?
Yeah.
Yeah, big for Ireland, I guess.
Is it big for Northern Ireland standards?
Yeah. I mean, the only main like regionals they'll have in like the north will be like the NI Open, which is the event that happens every year, and then you'll have like 1 or 2 other regionals, I think, usually on average throughout the season up in the north, and they're like more in the like 50 to 60 range.
I see.
Just because it's a bit of a travel up there, but yeah. So this was like the big one. We're hoping to get a bit more, I think, than what we got, but we still got a decent enough turnout. I think it was like close to 100.
It's like 95, if I would guess.
Yeah, 95, 96, like that.
It's actually very well run. So shout out to NCG. I think everything ran super smoothly. Pricing was very good. They had like pricing for like top 16, which was like mental. Bro, in the UK, when I get like more than a playmat, I'm happy.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So yeah, nice. It felt good because it felt like another like proper trip. Because since we went like on Thursday and we came back on Sunday, Betty's doing the vlog, so it should be out at some point. She's gonna be a very funny one. But it felt more like a proper like weekend to travel. We went exploring, went sightseeing, then got to play Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, no, all good vibes. But yeah, we played Dragon for that. There's no point making another Karmic Top. There's no point making another thing because it's the same list. You activate right and you go quick launch.
Yeah, it's standard enough stuff. If you've seen the previous list, it's pretty close to that. Yeah, it was like there's no point making another profile for something that's only a couple of cards different, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, and both of us top deck performed well. Your only loss was to me. My only loss was in the last round to Flunder Gamer, because Flunder can just game sometimes. Doesn't count. Yeah,
you got fun. Now I have a very funny anecdote for the weekend. I drew a hand of Valor Ogre Draw Chaos Space Abstralter into Flunder, and I'm like, insane. There is no way I lose this game. Stand by Shifter. I'm like, oh. Yes, there is a way to lose this game. I look at my 3 hands, my Chaos Space, my Abstralter, I'm like, oh.
Fun.
What do I do with this shit?
There's no winning here. Never mind.
Literally no winning. But yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, but yeah, it was good. It was good. It was decent. It was a good tournament.
Yeah. I like your deck. Your deck was fun.
Yeah. To be fair, thinking back to it, a lot of my wins were against the more roguish sort of matchups, and all my losses were to the matter. But yeah, the deck performed well enough, I guess. and then some of it was like a bit of luck with like opponents misplaying, etc.
Yeah, so it was 50 card Alistair, 50 or 60? 50, right?
No, yeah, it was 50 cards. It was no Mech Knights, but we had punk cards instead. Yeah,
it's
good.
Alistair plus Z aiming does make Yazi.
Yep, and Yazi is a lot of damage. Yazi was access code Dragoon, so yeah, access code versus Dragoon.
That is a lot of damage. By your definition, that
Yes,
you can kill.
yes.
I think you can kill their Prosper with that, if they have big enough monsters.
Yeah, maybe actually.
It's like it's almost on kill under Prosper range.
The only thing I care about is being able to kill prank kids with like 10k life. So yeah, it does that.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Nice.
It's fun. The different sort of normal summon Alistair for the weekend. Yeah, no.
You gotta keep it fresh, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it felt good. I don't know. I swear, I don't know if it's an Ireland thing, but it felt like I just played weird shit all day.
That'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I primed you guys enough for that. Like coming in, it was like you're just gonna play against like random stuff, like on like round 5.
No. So I have a very funny moment as well. Round 5, no, I go activate right. My opponent picks up and says, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go." I'm X1 at this point. I'm not even like.
You're really making my national champion title, feel less impressive by the moment. Won't lie to you.
I will not say anything about Ireland. I loved Ireland. Everything was great. Food was great.
It was
Great. We got good weather.
Oh yeah, it was even good weather. It was wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like for me anyway, right? Like I actually had like, you know, a pretty normal day in terms of like a regional compared to most, because I played against. What was my order of play? It was like I played against Arthur round 1. I played against people I knew all day essentially. Played against like Arthur round 1. Played against like Gabe round 3. Played against Kubi in round 4 or 5. Leon played you like round 6, right? In that region. Yeah.
I think round 6.
Yeah, like in and around there. So like my whole day was just basically playing people that I knew. Like stuff. So I was like, I was used to playing. You know, I was expecting to play against. Okay, we'll play against. Whatever. And then I just like saw the pairings. I was like, oh, right, okay, this is somebody that I drove up with. Oh, this is somebody I've been chatting to like all week essentially. So yeah, that was definitely a day. But yeah, no, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good
Oh,
time.
I keep forgetting because it's been like 2 weeks since this event. My event was so funny. Round 2, I ghost ogre this guy's fiber and he tributes it for Sword So Shongwang. And I'm like, what? So I need to pick up this card because I've never seen this card in my life. I knew there was a Sword So that was never played in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh before. That one.
Yeah, that was
So
the one.
apparently it tributes a guy and summons it. So it's kind of like a B-Tech circle.
Yeah,
And somehow it
essentially
worked
anything.
because like he summoned Ashuna and not Ashuna, the tuner, Adhara, and made fucking Riser and dump Necrowood Banshee.
Oh wow.
I'm looking at my dragon card like, oh, issue.
Slight problem here. Yeah.
Let's go. not the greatest situation ever here, Paul.
Some people kind of hurts him as well, though, right? That
Yeah,
can't make Chisha.
Bro, like he just passed on that, but like my head was like Black Metal Dragon. I can't play. But yeah, that was very funny. Yeah, and then like at some point he went like long one discard the second. I'm like nah, no way, no shot. Is this a 3-off? It was a 3-off.
It was the 3 of, yeah.
It was a 3-off. At least
Beats the hand drops. Insane.
Imagine like Valor Hauken and he fucking chains Chongwon. Actually, just like no.
Bro, it's called by and a monster. It's an extender. It's crazy. Yeah.
People do play 3 circles, so I guess by that comparison, you play 3 of this as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I get, but Circle like adds a card. Circle added Protoss. This summons stuff. But yeah, nah, I'm not sure. The guy was nice. I'm sorry about being mean. I was just shook.
Yeah. So something you weren't expecting, like, at all.
I weren't expecting. You know, on the scale of things I weren't expecting was a night out in Belfast after a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. That is definitely something that was not on the cards.
I don't know about you. I was expecting that all week. I was like, right,
That
this
is
is
actually
happening, right?
fair. That
And
is
then-
fair. Like, the thing is, like, we always
Yeah.
say we're going to go out, and we always bail because everyone's tired.
Ah, yeah.
But this
true.
time, we actually managed to go out.
Yeah, we had a decent group for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I brought this up because I think I couldn't do this podcast without this story, because I think this story is too good to ignore. It is like a requirement, basically.
Let me just start off by saying
Yeah.
that Yu-Gi-Oh weekends I've switched up quite a bit from what I remember, because Yu-Gi-Oh weekends are usually just about comfort, chilling, all that sort of stuff. And now Pasadena were like exploring everywhere, like hiking, bike riding. Here at Belfast, hiking around, all that sort of stuff. So I packed for comfort.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can carry on with the story.
All right. You just need to make that clear.
Yeah.
It's an
Leon's had to make a disclaimer beforehand.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
curious.
It's an important. Wait, haven't you read this exam?
I don't think I have, no.
Oh, fair.
Oh,
It's in the
gonna be
group
great.
chat. Oh yeah, all right. So basically, we finished the tournament at like 7. Actually, earlier, like 6. It finished like super early,
Yeah.
like 6 something.
Yeah.
Ran super smoothly. So Arthur rings up Big Cav. Big Cav, for the uninitiated, is the taxi driver that was taking us from Bangor to Belpatrick, because Arthur lives. Also, thanks for hosting us, Arthur. Arthur lives on some village in the corner. There's like 2 streets. Lovely place, but there's like tiny. So you need to ring a Big Cav because he's the only taxi driver in the town. He has a battle bus. It sits like 9 people. I couldn't comprehend a single word of what Big Cav said for the whole weekend, but Arthur was translating. He was speaking English, by the way. Case in point. We ring a Big Cav, we go home, we get food, we get changed. We pour out our drinks on like water bottles like we're fucking teenagers. And we go back to Belfast. Going to Limelight, which is like the biggest club in Belfast. Which apparently has the general population going there is a bunch of 18-year-olds. Some 40-something guys. It was a very distinctive age group.
And then some Yu-Gi-Oh players.
And then the Yu-Gi-Oh players, and the 10 Yu-Gi-Oh players. So it was us 3, Jacob Harbour, Arthur, and the other Irish guy. So Henry. Oh, I forgot Henry. I've been ignoring Henry this whole weekend for some reason. He's not here. I keep forgetting he was there.
Gonna be stuck with him soon, so that's fine.
That is true. I'm not stuck with Henry for too long. Maybe I'm just like cutting my losses. And then the Irish guys. So your friends. I mean, our friends. Lenny, Sean, Olin, and
So Lenny, Sean, Owen, and is that the whole group we went over? I feel
yeah,
bad
and then
someone.
Dean and Dean's friend that I don't know his name.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, we get into Q Limelight. Q's massive. Like no one has entered yet. So we wait there for like
We're sending
15.
pictures in the chat.
Yeah. We were there for like 15-20 minutes, and then at some point they start letting people in. A couple of us go in. Then Leon tries to go in. And then Leon, what happens? I'll let you tell your side of the story.
Well, another disclaimer. I did ask several times before if
That is actually true.
I said I only got tracksuits. I'm gonna be okay, and everyone's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's not really that kind of place." I get there. There's no sportswear. I was like, "All right, cool." I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, I thought it was gonna be fine, but apparently not. So
Yeah. Nah, Leon did ask, and Arthur said it was fine, so I'm blaming Arthur, as usual.
Oh, no, Arthur.
Nah, that should be fair. I don't think it was Arthur's fault. Like, we were looking at, like, our way to deciding it, we were looking into pictures from other nights at Limelight, and it looked like there were a bunch of people in, like, just, like, hoodies and, like, tracksuits. So it wasn't, like, that deep. I don't know if this night their policy was different. But sure, we weren't coming in without Leon, because I'm not abandoning my friend in the middle of Belfast at 1 a.m. drunk. So, not even 1, it's like 11 at this point.
It's like 11 at this stage.
yeah.
Yeah, because everything closes at 2. For some reason. So we tried going to the other side of the queue, because there's basically like, the club is here,
Yeah.
there's a queue here, and there's a queue on the other side.
Yeah, I think Arthur tried to argue. I think he was trying to talk to the guy. Arthur was trying to
Yeah.
question out the policy, etc. And the guy wasn't having it, so we eventually kicked us out the line.
Oh,
We went over to the other side, to the other guy, because he seemed a bit more calm.
yeah. Do you remember the first guy said that I was rude to him?
Yeah, he was on one. That's he was
I,
a bit on
I
one.
didn't do anything. Like I
He was rude to him just for talking. And he's like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
no, like
he just wasn't having
he
it.
proper gave you like fuck you.
Yeah.
And I did the shit.
To be fair, he was giving it to everyone though. He kicked the
Nah,
girls
yeah.
up behind us, kicked the
Oh,
guys
yeah.
behind us. Like he just was not having it.
He was on a bender. So we go to the other side of the queue. We all go through the first check, and then someone somehow spots Leon on trackies again. I don't know how. Eagle eye guy.
I literally made it through the first bouncer. He was fine, and then I was waiting to get inside, and then some guy just randomly spots me. He's like, yeah, he was doing too much as well. So yeah, he kicked me back out of the line.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which is where Brazil comes from. Brazil moment comes. So me and Henry go in. I think Archer stayed with you. Someone stayed with you, right?
Arthur stayed outside of me.
Yeah. And then I talked to Olin. Oh, huge shout out to Olin. I never talked to Olin before today. The only interaction was when I beat him round 4. I come to Olin, slightly drunk, and I go, Olin, we need your pants.
What?
Okay, basically, the plan was, what if we get one of the guys to hide in the bathroom, we smuggle Leon a pair of pants, we get Leon in the club, and then we swap back.
Yeah, because the guy was literally said, "Oh, if you find some jeans or whatever, you come in." So I was like, "How am I gonna find jeans?" Like,
We found.
I never night.
We found it. And so I mean, I was ready for Olin to just say like, "What the fuck are you on?" He said, "Let's go, fuck it." So we go to the men's toilet, and then like there's like 4 cubicles. Olin sits in one of them, takes his pants off, and locks the thing, gives me the pants, and says, "Please come back. Don't leave me here hanging." Because imagine if a bouncer like shows up to see if he's like doing drugs or if he's like passed out, and then like, just Olin sitting there with no pants in the middle of the club. But nothing happens. We get the pants. There's a smoking area, so we leave the smoking area.
Well, I see is Gabe come out of the club with like his jacket underneath his jacket, is smoking and walking. As soon as I see him like that, I was like, okay, cool, let's go. So we just walk around the corner.
So basically, I had like a jacket, and it had like the pants like here.
Yeah, I was wondering how you brought them out.
No,
I was like,
I was like a bit extra. It's like I gained some fat between entering and leaving. So I bring Leon. He goes through a corner.
No, funny enough, it seems like it could be an alleyway just round the corner. So we
just meant to it. The alleyway was just there, convenient.
It's just meant to be. Yeah, I was just there getting changed. Got changed quickly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, they fit all right.
Nah, and then, you give me the tracksuits back because I had to smuggle the tracksuits in.
So
This is the part that I was afraid. Because I was like, what if the guy checks me on the way back? Basically, there was like a big door, and like they gave you like a bracelet. So if you're already in, they just let you in. But like I had to carry the tracksuits on my jacket, and I'm like, what if the guy just randomly stops like pat me or something?
Yeah.
And then like I have a pair of tracksuits on me. He didn't. So I got through. Leon got through. We go to the bathroom, and there is a point. There is Olin in one cubicle, Leon in the other, and there's pants being thrown around from one cubicle to the other, so we can do the re-swap. And then at this point, the people in the bathroom just start looking at me, because I'm there looking like a fucking operations manager. I'm there sitting in front of the cubicle. I mean, not saying like standing in front of the cubicle. Like 2 people like fucking throwing pants around. And 4 guys like ask, what the fuck are you doing? I need to explain the whole context. I'm not sober at this point, by the way. It's also an important disclaimer. So this was me slightly intoxicated, trying to save the night.
I heard stories about like you guys like being viewed as cult heroes to the people who were in the bathroom, and then like later on they were coming up and being like, yo, did everyone get in?
Yeah,
and you were like, yo, yeah, they did.
So and then like when I was saying, one of the guys was like, yo, you guys are sick, I want a picture. So they took a selfie with me and Leon. Remember that? Like in the bathroom, this guy's like, you're Brazilian and you did the yo. You're a celebrity. They took a picture.
You're Brazilian. Oh my god.
It was very, very fun. And then we got in, nothing happened because all the checkers were like basically on the door, so we managed to enjoy the night out.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It was a good night.
It's decent.
And then we came back to Downpatrick in a cab with 9 people, with Jacob Harbour on the floor after bribing the taxi driver. So just normal night out of the Disciples vibes. Like,
Yeah.
can't wait to do it again.
Oh my god. It was something else.
I wish we had Jacob. I want to see Jacob's POV, but he was not around today.
Jacob apparently had a very good night because I was talking to him a few days later, and he says, "Yeah, we had a good time in Ireland." And I said, "Yeah, some of the pictures looked okay." And he went, "What pictures?" With
He
a
doesn't
slight
really-
panic in his voice. So I could tell he enjoyed himself.
Nah, he doesn't remember his shit. Because basically there was a point, right, at the club, because we were basically very near the stage, so we couldn't like hear each other. So I started talking to Harbour through like text notes on my phone. I was like getting my phone up and like writing a text note, giving it to him. He gave it back when we needed to talk. And then I showed him that the day after. He's like, "I don't remember this. I have no idea this happened."
Yeah, he messaged me at some point during the night like that, being like, "You're too Irish for me," and I took it as an insult immediately, being like, "What are you on about?" And then he was like, "In terms of drinking," and I was like, "Oh, right, right,
okay.
you're just
It's a
gone."
compliment. It's a compliment.
Yes,
See,
I guess.
the thing is, like, this night out was always gonna be good because it's by definition an upgrade from the last night out with Cormac, right? So I definitely had a funnier time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I imagine you definitely had a funnier time compared to the last. I don't think the last one could have been less funny from your perspective.
This was vindication. All that happened was life paying me back.
Yeah, it just balanced it out.
It's karma balancing out, all right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah,
it was good.
So see, Sam, you learn, you know the story now. Every time that we reference Leon's pants, that's what we're talking about.
Fair enough. I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it
It's
comes up, I won't look puzzled.
Yeah, it's one to be added to the disciple storybook.
Yeah, I'll definitely be asking if I need to bring jeans next time as well.
I'm not going to an event without pairs of jeans.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Yeah, no.
that was funny. It does make things
It was
from
good.
Ireland. Shout out to Big Kev, my man.
What a man.
Yeah.
I never met him myself, but what a man.
Oh yeah, you never actually met Big Kev. Shit, nah, Big
Yeah,
Kev.
yeah.
Big Kev's a hustler. He definitely hustled us, but he's a real one.
Fair.
I definitely think the highlight of the weekend was actually having beds to sleep in rather than the floor.
Oh my god, I had such good sleep. I mean, I was going
Pretty
to
sure,
bed
like-
at 5, but
Yeah,
those
well,
hours.
I was going to bed like 4, 5, 6, but if I sleep on the floor as well, I wouldn't have been able to make it through. Man.
Yeah, no. And because I'll be honest, I think it was very important because, especially because like I went to Portugal right after going to Ireland. So actually, the fact that I slept properly those nights is what carried me. Because I got home yesterday, on Friday from Portugal, I just hibernated for a day. I just passed out. So yeah. Cool. I think that's mainly it for the week. So I don't know what you're naming this. And I open YCS on Leon's pants. I need to find. I need to figure out like a smart naming scheme.
Yeah, we'll get Barney to come up with a funny title.
I'll ask Barney. Barney is drunk somewhere in Portugal right now. He's living the absolute life, and I'm jealous. I'm here working on my dissertation.
Fine, think about 10 days from now. It's fine.
Yeah, but he deserves it. He deserves it because
Yeah.
it was a fun week in Portugal. But yeah. All right. Anyone else got anything else to say before we cut it short?
Not much.
Oh,
What have we got?
ban
for...
list, please, Konami.
Yeah, ban list. Ban list at some point soon, please.
Yeah.
Maybe not like just before Bogota. I would like to just like. I just want to get
really-
these out of the way, and then then.
I can see it happening
Mhm.
after it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take a balance between Bogota and Guadalajara. I want the Chaos YCS.
Yeah, that would be fine.
I
I
mean,
don't know where we get cards, but
yeah, I mean,
we know.
South America's notorious for product issues, so I can't imagine how bad it would be trying to make like
No.
an entirely new list.
like we get Raph to like bring
Yeah,
an extra
literally.
check over or something.
Oh,
Raph.
fair enough.
Can you bring like 4 decks, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have
actually,
Starlands first, and everything will be fine.
exactly. Now, so next week probably we're doing a preview of Bogota. something like that, and we'll come with something. I'll get Henry on the podcast. He will not be in church. He will be at the podcast. And yeah, so shout out to the sponsors: MetaMats, Card Market, the Brotherhood Games. Big up to Mike.
Like, subscribe.
Not Gamers Apparel.
Not Gamers Apparel.
Or maybe Gamers Apparel. I don't know. Betty's on holiday, so I don't know
still
if
don't
they're
have my jersey. So until
that is
then,
true.
not Gamers Apparel.
Until that, not Gamers Apparel. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Betty for being on holiday.
Yeah.
About
Enjoy
20
Brighton.
miles from his house.
It's actually true. But it's Brighton. It's a cool place.
True. Yeah. Subscribe here. Follow our social medias, because when we are going on the trips to Bogota and Guadalajara, we'll probably have some good content out there.
Yeah. So we
And
do
speaking
our...
of content,
sorry for cutting you, but yeah, basically for our Bogota Guadalajara, we do Instagram stories, which are you can also see on Facebook, but Instagram is just better for that sort of content. So if you can give us a follow there, I, as the social media manager, a new given title by myself, will be trying my best to get some stuff from those ones.
Yeah, and then speaking of content, we might have some interesting stuff out this week, so keep an eye out for that. I think our Despia video already went up.
Yeah, that's video was
Monday?
up on Monday, so it's today when we're recording, so it's gonna be yesterday
Yeah,
if you're watching this.
Yeah, so check that out, because the structure's out this week, so
Yeah,
that might
that's
be
true.
interesting to a few of you. And then we've got some vlog hopefully this week, and maybe some brand new content that you may not have seen before coming up this week. So
If Sam
this is
decides
me
to
also.
work,
I'm holding everyone to us.
I tried to do it before, but there just wasn't enough lists being posted, so I couldn't do it. I tried.
I believe in you, Sam.
Will it
I believe
happen?
in
Will
you.
it not? We'll figure out on Thursday.
Exactly. This is just me holding everyone accountable right now. So
That is
that's all
true.
I'm saying.
Now you're under pressure. Yeah, that's mainly it, guys. Let us know if you want to know anything. Yeah, and thanks Leon, Simon, and Carmack for being here. And yeah, see you guys next week. Bye bye.
All right. See ya.
Cheers, guys.